Are you grieving today? You're not alone. There's so much happening in our world today. It seems like it's coming faster and faster. We don't know what to do sometimes. So I just came on just to encourage you today to look to the hills from which cometh your help. All of our help comes from the Lord. I am so reminded of the time that I was grieving the loss of a spouse of 25 years. It came suddenly and without warning. So that's how my channel was birthed, because today my purpose is to help someone else get through grief, because I know how I felt. Felt like giving up. I felt like life wasn't worth living again. But guess what? People were depending on me. My children were depending on me. Albeit they were adults, they were depending on me. My grandchildren would have missed out on an opportunity to gain wisdom from me, from my life experiences. So I decided to fight so that I can live, so that I can impact the next generation. Not only the next generation, my sole mission is to impact widows, widowers, any way I can encourage you to live life again. I know it seemed hopeless and it seems like the pain will never leave. But what if God want to rewrite your story? What if God said, carry the love you had for that person, carry the memories, but whatever you do, live life. You know, God came that we might have life and life more abundantly. The thief come to steal, kill, and destroy, but God came that we might have life and life more abundantly. Even when it don't feel like it, God is still rooting for you. Even when you don't feel like getting out of the bed, God still have a plan and purpose for you. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts and plans I have for you, thoughts of good and not evil, to bring you to an expected end. God have an expected end for each and every one of us. He's rooting for us to win. He's right there waiting on us to surrender and to cast our cares upon him, because he truly cares for us. So as I reflect on my times of grief, I want to encourage you that there is life at the end of the tunnel. The sun will shine again. The sun will shine again. But you have to participate in your recovery. You have to be intentional and allow God to heal you. You know, healing may not look like the next person. It may be how God decides to heal you. So listen for his voice and accept the community. Accept the people that God has put into your life to be a support and a help to you. We were created for community. You know, we can't heal alone. So accept the help that's around you. You know, I was riding the other day and I was thinking about a recent loss that I had about a year ago. And me and my husband was riding, and for whatever reason I could not stop thinking about my cousin. You know, he passed away a year ago. And he was much more than a cousin to me. He was my double first cousin. He was like a brother to me. He's always been in my life, and he's always been an encourager. And I got sad. I couldn't stop the tears for a moment. But all of a sudden, the picture of his wonderful, brilliant smile came across my memory. And I began to smile and think about some of the funny moments he had, that we shared together, because we all traveled together. We all hung out together. He was close as a brother to me, and I miss him. I miss his wisdom. I miss talking to him. But because I know the life that he lived, and he lived life to the fullest down to his last breath, that encourages me today, that to continue to live life, and that he would want me to keep going on and to live life to the fullest. I was so proud of him, every accomplishment he made, and he made some tremendous accomplishments in his life. But even though I made smaller accomplishments, he was equally proud of me. So I think of those memories, and it just pushes me to keep living so that I can encourage and plant seeds to the next one to keep going on. You know, I thought about my father who passed a few years ago. And every time I get sad, I'm reminded of the life he lived. He passed away from end-stage renal disease. And unless you knew that he was on dialysis, to hear him talk and to see him move, you wouldn't have known it. Even in his weaker years, when the disease started to take a toll on his body and he could hardly breathe, anytime we were at his house and played music, he would get up, and with every little breath he had in him, he would try and dance. So those memories itself, it just brings such joy to my heart, and it makes me want to live a full life so that I can, you know, if you don't have any wealth to leave anybody, what you can leave them is your wealth of information, your wealth of wisdom. So what I would love to leave to my children and my children's children and generations on is to live life to the fullest. Live it according to God's principle, but live it to the fullest, regardless of what life throws your way. So I'm talking to that widow. I want you to get up and allow God to help you live again. He can do it. Cast your cares upon him because he cares for you. If he did it for me, he can do it for you. I was married a long time, strong 25 years, and this happened to me suddenly. But God saw fit to bless me to get up, to live, to even write a book so that I can encourage you today. The same thing goes for the widower. God wants you to get up. He wants you to share your testimony when you allow him to heal you so that you can help someone else. You know, God says some plant, some water, but he give the increase. So our job is to simply use all the talents, all the gifts that God have given us so that we can help someone behind us. You know, the world calls it paying it forward. So I'm okay with that. I want to pay it forward. Now I'm talking to that divorcee. You are still enough. Regardless of what happened in your life, you are still enough. Allow yourself to heal, surrender to God, so that not only can this be a lesson, not a lesson because you did something wrong, but a lesson so that you can help the next person. I get the greatest joy in helping someone else get up from their grieving and to move forward in life and to embrace the new life God has for them, to embrace their next chapters in life. I get joy out of that. If I can encourage just one person, then it was all worth it. So I'm talking to that next person who may have lost a home, cars, and even jobs. We're living in different times right now. So the world is in an uproar. People are worried. People are anxious because of everything that's happening. People are losing jobs, losing finances. You know, years ago I had to relocate. Well, I decided to relocate. And God had an assignment for me and my then husband to help start a ministry far away from my home in Florida. When that time was up, I came back to Florida. But I was a little bit broken. And I remember one of my sisters told me, she said, the fact that, she said, I know you don't like starting over, but the fact that you're sitting here today and can start over is a blessing in itself. And I know that seems simple to someone else, those words, but those words were the exact words I needed to hear. The reason being is because I was still breathing, I was still living, so I knew I could start again. So that in itself blessed me to get up, wipe myself off, and start again. In this life, we may lose things, we may lose people, but God is still right here with us, waiting on us to call him, waiting on us to call out, waiting on us to do this, waiting on us to do this, to surrender and allow him to do the work in us. We can heal, we can move forward, but we have to do it God's way. Allow him to heal us like never before. Yes, the world may seem to be in an upheaval. People are losing things. Start over. I know that sounds easy, but I've had to start over several times. And it's not easy, but it's definitely doable. And sometimes the life you start over, your new chapters, can become better than the old chapters. So I want to encourage you today to get up and allow God to heal you. I am rooting for you. I am praying for you. But remember this, regardless of what you've gone through, you are more than enough. God calls us royalty. So remember that the next time you're feeling insecure, the next time you're feeling like you're not enough, just remember what God calls you and begin to tell yourself and begin to call yourself what he called you. You're blessed. So until the next time, like, comment, and share this video to help someone else. Help me pay it forward as we continue to take a healing journey in moving forward in life and having the best next chapters of our life.